I don't talk about aliens often. I have had a number of dreams over the years of alien encounters. This one was unusual in the fact that it was me at their location. It wasn't them coming to me. It was them showing me where they came from. And I'm going to describe this to you a little bit using this picture that was drawn for me based on what I described, what I had seen that night. First and foremost, I was in this area, like my head was here. Of course, this stuff seemed a little farther off, but for the perspective of the picture, I wanted to fit it all on this size piece of paper. But it provides the details of what I saw that night, and that's what's important. But the ground, which I didn't shade in there, we didn't shade that in, was mainly like a beige, gravelly, and the key point to that is that these buildings here were see-through. From the outside of the building, all you could see was the glistening of the corners of the buildings in the moonlight, so to speak. But otherwise you saw right through them, right to the ground. Just, they were invisible. Yet, people were living inside these boxes. Now, I had a sense of fear. I felt that they needed to have these water towers with the tops cut off. And these were set essentially along the border of their housing area. And as you can see, on top of these water towers were children, little more than toddlers, up to maybe 8 years of age. These children could see the entities and energies, sometimes and almost always invisible to the naked eye. But these children were sensitive to that, like children on earth are the same. Very sensitive to the unknown things that an adult can't see, because their minds are so free. So I call them aliens. I'm assuming these children are their children, so they may not be very alien-like. They may be indeed very human-like, a species from another planet that have learned to adapt in such a manner that they have their children watch for when bad or evil things come. And as I was there, they sat quite patiently on the towers and looked as if they could sit there for hours, watching for anything that might come, that might be a danger. And I recall that they had some type of thing hooked up to their hands, like a sensor. And the sensor would go off and help identify if the children were uptight. Then the people down here in some control center, they would be heightened and alerted of something coming. So they are protecting their people from danger. A great message. Is this factual? I mean, how will I ever know? How will anybody ever know? So, I'll call this entertainment for now, but I think this is certainly a possibility, and there's no doubt in my mind that they could potentially send us messages. But I'll tell you one thing. The visual of that toddler sitting on top of that tower, something I won't forget. And yeah, it seems like, oh, how could you do that? But this is perfectly normal. There's a society out there of human-like beings where their society is quite different than ours. And we have to get used to the idea that just because we think it, that doesn't make us always right. And if you like more stuff like this, please, you see this ugly mug? You see it on the screen in a little circle? Like right there? Hit that, click on it, subscribe, and I'll show you some more of these types of stories in the future. We'll talk more about aliens, about supernatural, about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, this, that. But if you're interested, please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell me what you think.